Yo, what is going on, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. My name is Richie, and today I want to break down some rumors and some reports we're hearing about the New York Jets backup quarterback role, because we all know that this is a big deal in the offseason for the New York Jets. We need to get a backup quarterback. Okay, we're not going into this season, at least I hope, okay? At least I hope. We can't go into this upcoming season without a realistic option behind Aaron Rodgers. Now, the big question I have about this one, and you can tell by the title of the video, you could tell by the graphics here, we're talking about Sam Howell as an option for the New York Jets as the backup behind Aaron Rodgers. There's a report on SNY by Connor Hughes answering some mailbag questions about should the Jets consider Sam Howell. He actually alluded to the fact that there is some interest. So you guys see, this is the little paragraph that he wrote on SNY. If you want to check out the article yourself, I linked it down below in the description of this live stream here on YouTube. If you want to go check it out, of course, Connor Hughes does a phenomenal job covering the New York Jets and the Giants, for that matter, for SNY. So before we go into my thoughts of Sam Howell potentially being a New York Jet, let's get into the article and break it all down. So somebody asked Connor Hughes, do the Jets kick the tires on a trade for Sam Howell? And Connor Hughes responds, I love the idea of this, assuming he's available. The Commanders could easily keep him as the backup. It's not like this is a Sam Darnold, Justin Fields situation. If available, though, I'd prioritize him over anyone else. Howell proved this year he can play. There are flaws to his game, but none where the season is lost if he has to play. He's also cheaper. Howell could have a cap hit of under $1 million each year of the next 2 seasons. That matters to Woody Johnson and the Jets. There are those in the Jets building who believe he can play too. Maybe 2 years learning behind Rodgers really unlocks his potential and he ends up being his replacement. He did throw for 3,946 yards and 21 touchdowns on a terrible Commanders team. The key will simply be compensation. The Jets should do this if all it takes is a pick on the third day of the draft. Howell is as good of an insurance policy as Gardner Minshew or Jacoby Brissett. So basically, Connor Hughes is saying that there are people within the New York Jets organization that like the idea of Sam Howell. So that's why they're rumored to be interested. That's why you saw some speculation flirting across social media today about the Jets being linked to Sam Howell. And this is a big deal because we're all talking about which receiver we getting, which offensive lineman we getting, where are we going at number 10 in the NFL draft. But we need to make sure the backup quarterback is a priority. And let me just say off the bat how I feel about Sam Howell. I love it. I absolutely love this. I never thought of it. Honestly, I never thought about Sam Howell as a possibility because obviously he's under contract. I didn't think he could be available. And we have no idea if Washington's going to make Sam Howell available. But if you're Sam Howell, you kind of want to be, traded because the Washington Commanders are potentially about to draft the top quarterback in the NFL draft, and Sam Howell wants to go somewhere where he could be the future of the team. And a big part about the Jets' backup quarterback plan behind Aaron Rodgers is this. We want someone that can not only be someone that can plug in if, unfortunately, Aaron goes down for a game or two next season, that can, help the team stay afloat. But there's another component here that the New York Jets should be doing here. And that's finding the future quarterback of the Jets. right? Aaron Rodgers is not the future quarterback of the Jets. He's the quarterback today. He's hopefully the quarterback next season, and maybe, should I say, 3 years. That's great. But he's not the quarterback for the next 5 to 10 seasons. The Jets still need to find one. And we all went into last season with the idea of the plan that Zach Wilson will sit behind Aaron Rodgers. He will be the one to learn behind Aaron. And when Aaron retires, Zach will be the guy. That was the idea last offseason. Made somewhat of sense. But obviously the whole plan got ruined when Aaron went down and Zach had to be plugged in when he wasn't ready. And he was now good enough to elevate this team, which is why the Jets are most likely going to be moving on from Zach Wilson. Now, a big reason why I love Sam Howell is because of the reason I'm talking about. This isn't just a short-term, all right, let's bring in someone to back up Aaron for the season. This is a potential quarterback that can sit behind Aaron and be the future of the Jets. Now, hear me. Now, I want to slow down. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I mean, the Jets get Sam Howell. He's just behind Aaron. He gets plugged in. He's the next Jets quarterback for 15, 20 years. Now, that's totally unrealistic. But there are some traits about Sam Howell's game I like. I was impressed with Sam Howell last year on a terrible Washington team. He put up numbers. He was like the leading, passing yards leader in the NFL at one point. He was, putting up a lot of yards. He had 21 touchdowns on a really bad team. So you can just imagine someone that has, NFL starting experience sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, learning Aaron as a quarterback, and being someone that you can rely on to move the ball with the supporting cast around him on the Jets. I actually like this idea. Now, did he have a perfect season last year? No. He started off the season hot, right? People were like, ooh, Sam Howell, is he the guy for Washington? Remember, that was a narrative. And then he kind of fell down to earth at the end of the season. And that's why Washington has a top pick in the NFL draft. He was even benched against the Jets, I believe, when Jacoby Brissett came in that game and actually sparked that offense. So obviously Sam Howell is not a finished product here, but I feel like as a backup quarterback and a potential long-term answer, that is really intriguing to me, especially that he would be cost very cheap for the next 2 seasons. But the big question is the compensation, right? What would the Commanders look for in return for a young quarterback like a Sam Howell? What would the Jets have to give up to bring him in? Because he's not a free agent. He still has 2 years left on his contract for cheap control. So that is definitely a Washington's favor in terms of leverage of a trade. So definitely want to get your guys' thoughts of Sam Howell potentially being a backup quarterback behind Aaron Rodgers. Golden Robert with the first super chat of the show. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. $10. Thank you so much, my man. I like 2 free agents. You who can block and pass block. Jet 4th, 6th round quarterback 2. Okay, so let's break this down. So I think Golden Robert's alluding to, I like 2 free agents who can block and pass block. Jets 4th, 6th round. So are you saying you want to give up the Jets 4th and 6th round pick for Sam Howell? Are you saying you want the Jets to draft a quarterback to be the backup and you want to get a free agent who can obviously come in here and be a offensive line upgrade? Let me know what exactly you are trying to say here, Golden Robert. I do appreciate the super chat, man. I do appreciate the super chat big time. Everyone give my man Golden Robert some dono hype in the chat, $10. But I do want some clarification so I know exactly what you're alluding to, Golden Robert, because I love the support of the channel. Loco Joe says, love you, man, but I disagree. We very much need a veteran backup quarterback, then draft a mid-round quarterback in this draft. Yeah, I mean, first of all, we're all allowed to agree and disagree with each other. That's the beauty of YouTube, Loco Joe, so don't need to worry about that. Now, I also love this as well. I think that there's 2 ways the Jets, or multiple ways, I don't want to just box it into 2. There's multiple ways the New York Jets can pursue their backup quarterback. This is probably the most likely one right here that Loco Joe is referring to, which is you get a guy like Ryan Tannehill or Jacoby Brissett. I've heard Russell Wilson's name, which I don't see that happening. And then you draft the quarterback, and you let that quarterback be quarterback number 3, and then we have insurance behind Aaron Rodgers as a veteran that we know what to expect from him, like a Tannehill or a Gardner Minshew or Jacoby Brissett. And then the third quarterback is the one that we draft to develop for the long term as the potential franchise quarterback. I do get that. That is definitely a realistic opportunity for the New York Jets. But I look at Sam Howell as someone who has NFL experience, someone who has some upside, and I don't know. I honestly never thought of Sam Howell as an option until I saw this, and now I'm thinking about it. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Let me know your guys right now. I'm going to put a poll in the chat because I find this very, very interesting. Very interesting as a potential possibility for the New York Jets. But before I put the poll in the chat, folks, do me a favor for watching us live on YouTube or even on Twitter. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, retweet the tweet, spread the show here on the algorithm on social media. I really do appreciate you guys. So don't forget to hit the like button right now for your boy. Smash that thumbs up button right now as I put the poll in the chat. Would you want the Jets to trade for Sam Howell? All right, guys, the poll is live. So let me know in the poll. I am genuinely curious to hear from Jets fans, of course, in the chat about if you would be open to the idea of trading for Sam Howell or not. Because I definitely feel like this is a possibility. It makes a lot of sense, right? It makes a lot of sense because, again, the Jets cannot just look for their short-term backup. They need to look into the future. I, as well as every single Jets fan, has been waiting for a real franchise long-term quarterback, okay? Now, does Sam Howell have a potential to be a top 5, top 10 QB in the NFL? That is extremely hard to say, and I would probably say it's very unlikely. Very, very unlikely, okay? But there are quarterbacks out there that could develop into those. And you see quarterbacks around the league who have been backups places, has different stories, and something about Sam Howell impressed me this season. I'll never forget early in the year watching him play and putting up the numbers that he was putting up. I was like, wow, Sam Howell is putting up some numbers on a really bad team. Like, he has some upside there. He has some untapped potential if Washington builds around him and gives him time. Well, now Washington has a top pick, so it's likely they're going to get a new quarterback in the building who's probably better than Sam Howell, obviously. But I feel like getting someone that has potential to be the long-term answer here makes me feel a little giddy because I just want a long-term answer, okay? I want a long-term answer. Now, obviously, the draft is another option where they can find their long-term quarterback. Dare I say they even are interested in drafting a quarterback in the first round. I don't see that happening. I think it's very unlikely, but the Jets definitely are weighing every single option in the front office for the New York Jets. So the first results are in for the poll. We had 29 of you guys vote. 55% are on board for the New York Jets to trade for Sam Howell. 45% are not on board. So if you guys did not vote already, definitely vote yes or no at the top of the chat to let your voice be heard. Definitely curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Golden Robert with another super chat. Thank you, my friend. Jets will not trade for quarterback 2 behind Aaron Rodgers. Perhaps free agency. Yeah, that's definitely, the most likely scenario. Ryan Tannehill, Brissett, Minshew. But there are, like a guy like Sam Howell is someone I would trade for just because of his cheap control you'd have and a possibility of him being the long-term answer. Possibility. Please don't twist my words like, oh, Richie thinks Sam Howell is going to be the franchise quarterback for that. No, I'm not saying it's a guarantee. It's a possibility. Just like you draft a quarterback in the later rounds and you hope he works out. You trade for Sam Howell. You hope he works out for the future if you surround him with the right coaching staff and developmental scheme and structure around him. So I feel like there's a lot of different options, and the Jets can definitely get their QB2 in free agency. They can also get their QB2 via the trade market. Don't forget, trades are a big part of the offseason, okay? And I feel like Jets fans got to realize that this is definitely a possibility that people within the Jets building are negotiating. So Golden Robert, again, cannot thank you enough for the generous super chat on the show. Your second super chat of the stream, man. Appreciate you. Brissett, Minshew, and Winston. Yeah, those are definitely 3 options for the Jets. The last good QB the Jets drafted was a pure passer, was Kenny O'Brien in the 80s. Yeah, that's sad. That is extremely sad, but it's true. Draft a young QB 3. Yeah, I mean, if they draft a young quarterback 3, they'd probably have to keep him on the 53-man roster as well. That's something else you got to keep in mind. Like, if we draft a developmental quarterback as quarterback 3, then we're going to have to sacrifice a roster spot. And, that's how that works. I like Jameis Winston. Yeah, Jameis Winston's definitely an option. We might not have to give up much for him. Shout out to Henny. That's another thing about Sam Howell. Like, Washington is about to draft a quarterback, so I don't know what the price would be for them to even ship him off. So now there more votes are coming in, right, guys? More votes are in. 64%. So the majority of Jets fans, at least in this chat, are open to the idea. Don't forget to vote, guys. But I also noticed that we have double the amount of votes than we have like buttons smashed. So, folks, only 25 likes and around 50 votes. So let's balance it out, ladies and gentlemen. If you can vote in the chat, you can do your boy Style a favor by simply hitting the like button for your boy. Come on now, let's get the ball rolling. I got a lot of fun plans for you guys lined up in the offseason, covering everything related to the New York Jets, mock drafts, free agency. You guys know that I'm part of a brand new show Monday through Friday called The Huddle. We just finished the first week of that show on BetUS TV. This is going to be the second week, and today's show is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be live in 45 minutes, actually, which will be fun. JT, a great member of the channel. I'd be on board, but would like to grab a day 3 quarterback. Yeah, I know a lot of Jets fans are looking at a day 3 QB, but the one thing I want to just remind Jets fans, that drafting a day 3 quarterback, it's more likely for that quarterback to not be good than good. Okay? It's really hard to find a QB on day 3. Yes, you can say there's Brock Purdy is an example. Tom Brady's an example. Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, I think it may be a day 2. But yes, there's evidence around the NFL that a day 3 quarterback can become a future QB. But we also have to realize there's a lot of quarterbacks that get drafted in the 3rd round that never pan out, that stink more often than not. So that's the thing that we have to realize as Jets fans. As much as the idea of drafting a QB and developing him into the guy, that would be the best case scenario. But it's a lot easier said than done, especially when you factor in which organization is doing the developing. Oh, it's the New York Jets, who have proved to never be able to draft and develop a quarterback in my entire life. Okay? So that's another thing people have to realize. All right, Glenn's making a joke. So Sam Howell, QB2, who's QB1? You know who quarterback number 1 is. His name is Aaron. Aaron Rodgers, baby. Let's go. George says fair, but run through some day 3 QBs. Let him sit behind Rodgers for a year or two. Might come across a Prescott, Howell, Hurts. Yeah, of course. And this is the model that you'd... Best case scenario. Best case scenario, the New York Jets go into the NFL draft, and they draft a quarterback in the 5th round, or whatever round you name it, and that guy sits behind Aaron for 2 years. Aaron retires, and that rookie, who we drafted this year, gets slotted in, and he drives off into the sunset, and we have our new franchise guy. That is the best case scenario, but I cannot put my mind in that scenario and think it's going to happen because there's no evidence that the Jets can do that. The reason is we can't even develop quarterbacks that we draft in the top 3. We couldn't develop Sam Darnold properly. We couldn't develop Zach Wilson properly. What makes me believe that the Jets can develop a day 3 quarterback properly? Now, could they strike gold in one? That this kid is just like, he gets it. He has the mind for it. How did he slide? Yeah, of course. There's a lot of different guys that can be like that. And it's up to the Jets to do it, right? Brock Purdy is a perfect example. And it's nothing to take away from Brock Purdy, but like the 49ers are built for a quarterback to succeed, okay? And Brock Purdy's done a tremendous job for showing up and developing himself and being a winning quarterback. But also the 49ers as an organization deserves a ton of credit for surrounding him and developing him properly. Do I have the same confidence in the Jets? I don't. I wish I did. I wish I could tell you guys, yeah, the Jets could develop quarterbacks. We can't draft quarterbacks in the 1st. Maybe we can in the 5th. That's what I'm saying, Henny. Like, let's stop acting like this Jets team is just going to, oh, yes, draft a quarterback in day 3. It will be good. Do you realize how lucky we have to get and how, like, there's a lot of factors that goes into just the Jets drafting a day 3 quarterback and him being legit. You know the last time we did that? Yeah, James Morgan. James Morgan. How did that work out? Just saying. Just to put things in perspective here. Okay? Just because the Jets draft a day 3 quarterback doesn't mean he's guaranteed to be the guy. Just like when the Jets drafted Sam Darnold, he was not guaranteed to be the guy, even though I can definitely admit I was a delusional fan at the time, and I was convinced Sam Darnold was our franchise quarterback immediately when we drafted him. With Zach Wilson, I had a different approach. I told myself I'm not buying his jersey until he proves it because I'm still scarred from Sam Darnold, and he proved not to be the guy. Of course, I was objective in my analysis with Zach Wilson here on the channel for his 3 seasons with the Jets, but that's a different conversation. We shall see, man. By the second game, Sam Howell would be your starter. Well, Glenn, thanks for wishing injury on our quarterback. That's not nice. David says, Richie, I think it's safe to say that we would have took Sewell. I don't know why we took Wilson based off of a throw. Guys, I'm telling you right now, the Jets did not draft Zach Wilson because of the pro day throw. Can we stop that narrative? Every single team in the NFL had Zach Wilson with a high grade. They all whiffed on Zach, obviously, including the Jets. It's funny to laugh at, the Jets drafted Zach Wilson because of his BYU. I mean, come on. That's not the reason why they drafted him. What about running it back with Joe Flacco? No. I love Joe Flacco, comeback player of the year, had a great story with Cleveland. No, thank you. If this regime can't develop a quarterback, they don't deserve to be here, period. The organization doesn't know how to develop a quarterback. It's Snoopy. It's not even just the regime. It's beyond. It's unfortunately deeper than that. The previous regime couldn't do it. This regime can't do it. Every regime that I've ever seen in my life can't do it. So it's an organizational thing instead of just a regime. Glenn, I'll tell you this right now. If you think Aaron Rodgers struggles in week 1 and he just gets benched immediately for Sam Howell, that ain't realistic, my friend. If Aaron Rodgers goes out there week 1 and has a bad week 1, he's not getting benched, okay? That actually, in Aaron Rodgers' MVP seasons, I'm pretty sure in both of those years, he stunk in week 1 of those seasons. And everyone was writing the narrative in that time, Rodgers is washed. Rodgers sucks now. And then he went on the next 16 games and lit up the entire NFL. If the Jets valued 1 game from Aaron Rodgers and benched him, I would... No. I know you're trolling, Glenn. At least I hope you are. Because if you're not, I don't know what to tell you in my mind. I don't know what to tell you. It's all good, though. I love you, Glenn. You know that. You know that. All right. Looking at the poll right now, I'm noticing there's more Jets fans that would want Sam Howell than not. Okay. So, guys, if you're just tuning into the show for the first time, first and foremost, don't forget to hit the like button. And secondly, vote in the chat. Let your voice be heard. Would you want the New York Jets to go out there and sign, or trade for, rather, Sam Howell? Because Sam Howell is a guy that I didn't really think about as an option for the New York Jets to not only be the backup quarterback behind Aaron Rodgers this season, but potentially sit behind Aaron and learn the ways of the Force, Star Wars reference, to be the future quarterback of the New York Jets. We shall see. Now, folks, as you all know, we have a proud sponsor of Jets Media all throughout the offseason. They've been proud sponsors throughout the season, and we are extended into the offseason. That happens to be BetUS Sportsbook. BetUS Sportsbook is the sportsbook you guys want to get hands on right now. They just released these Super Bowl odds. Look at these Super Bowl odds on BetUS, okay? If you guys click that link down below in the description, you will receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits when you use the code JOIN125. So don't forget to click that link, folks, because BetUS has a lot of off-season bets that you guys want to check out. Now, you look at this Super Bowl odds, the biggest thing that I notice immediately is what? The Jets and the Dolphins have the same odds. Dolphins fans, are you here in the chat? Hey, Dolphins fans, you here? Raise your hand, Dolphins fans. Raise your hands. Because why are the New York Jets same exact odds as the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl if the Dolphins made the playoffs and the Jets did not? What is this? What is this? Let me know in the chat, because I think these odds are really interesting. Now, the Bills at plus 1,000. The Jets are at plus 2,000, tied with the Miami Dolphins to win the Super Bowl. Now, if you guys did not know, plus 2,000 basically means you put $10 on the Jets to win the Super Bowl, and if they do, which would be wild, you'll win $200. If you put $100 down, you win $2,000. So definitely go down below in the description, folks. Click that link down below. Use the code, all capitals, JOIN125, and you will get a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,500. Fast 24/7 hour customer service and a 24-hour payout. Definitely shout out to BetUS Sportsbook for being the proud sponsor of the channel. Now, I saw somebody in the chat on Twitter say something. I'm curious if the guy is still here with us. Where is that? He asked, what's the update on this rumor? Where is this from? Here it is. Tim asks, you're the only one I've seen in the timeline with this rumor. Clickbait. This is not clickbait. This is an article from SNY of Connor Hughes of The Athletic, my man. And if you want to go check it out yourself, go check it out. Connor Hughes was answering mailbag questions, and he said, quote, that there are those in the Jets building who believe he can play and also feel like he could be a long-term answer behind Aaron Rodgers learning. So it's all speculative. It's not like a guarantee that the Jets are going all in for Sam Howell, right? But this is the offseason. This is where speculation rises. This is where all of the craziness begins, and that's why I wanted to go live and get the Jets fans' opinions. If this is something that you'd be interested in doing, and based off of the chat, 59% of you guys would be open to it. So I find that very interesting. We got a super chat from my man Drip Sports with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Drip Sports. I appreciate that, my friend. Us Jets fans don't want Sam Howell. He suck against the Jets and other teams also. Drip Sports is speaking for the Jets fans who don't want him. Now, the first thing I got to say is this. Don't evaluate a quarterback based off what they do against the New York Jets. Because Patrick Mahomes struggled against the Jets. Would you want Patrick Mahomes on the Jets? Yeah, you would. CJ Stroud struggled against the Jets. He looked terrible against the Jets. Let me ask you guys in the chat. Would you guys like CJ Stroud as the quarterback for the New York Jets? Or no, because he looked like trash against the Jets defense? No, the Jets defense is that good. And I'm not going to take anything away. Sam Howell also struggled against teams not named the New York Jets. I'm not saying that. And he struggled at the end of the year, right? He also struggled against bad teams. Bad defenses got the better of Sam Howell. So Sam Howell isn't this quarterback that's a finished product. I don't think he's, there's a reason why Washington would even trade him in the first place. This is just an option of taking a flyer on somebody who shows upside with real NFL experience that can sit and learn behind Aaron Rodgers. That's what this is about, right? That's what this is about. I think giving him a chance it depends on the compensation, obviously. I don't know. I'm more on board than this than I thought I would. When I first saw this, I was like, and then I really thought about it, and I was like, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Because again, folks, I want to find the future of the New York Jets at quarterback. Now, is it right for me to list Sam Howell as a potential franchise quarterback for the New York Jets? That's ridiculous, okay? I'm not going that far. But I don't know. Man. D-Man says we should trade for Justin Fields. Nicholas also asks, what about Justin Fields? So the Justin Fields one is interesting. I think Justin Fields is better than Sam Howell. I think Justin Fields wants to go somewhere to start right now. I think there is a team out there that's willing to go all in for Justin Fields to hand him the starting job. Which is why I don't know. I know there are rumors about that. I don't know if it's realistic to think that the Jets will go after Justin Fields to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. I'd be for it. I think the Steelers are going to land Justin Fields, and he's going to be their starting quarterback. That's my prediction. Or the Falcons. Like, there are teams out there that I feel like would hand Justin Fields the starting job right now, which is why Justin Fields, I'm not really thinking about it. I'm not really thinking about that as a possibility. Like, Justin Fields is good enough to play right now. Sam Howell, not good enough to play right now, which is why we'd bring him in to be a backup, okay? But Thea says, if Howell can't be your quarterback of the future, don't bring him in. Get a good vet QB. Stop. But the question is, why? Who knows? You're taking a risk, obviously. You're bringing in somebody that can stay afloat as a backup, who also has a possibility of developing for the long run. Who's to say that he can't be the future? No one's saying that. I'm not ruling that out. I'm not saying it's a guarantee because that's unrealistic, but I think it's an option that is a very intriguing one. Remember, he's the backup quarterback with also an opportunity to develop into the future. Just saying. Zach, traded or released? I think he's going to get traded. I think the Jets are going to get something in return. Not a lot, but I think that the Jets will definitely get something, whether that's just flipping their 7th-round pick into a 6th or their 6th into a 5th, something like that. Dakota, Pittsburgh is cheeks. Without head coach Tomlin, the Steelers organization would lose their minds. Yeah, I don't know how Tomlin got that team into the playoffs. How did he do that? I have no idea. But it's impressive. It's definitely impressive. So more votes are coming in. We're almost at 100 votes. Guys, vote right now at the top of the chat. If you would want the Jets to trade for Sam Howell, 58% says yes. So the majority of Jets fans say yes. We're also at 42 likes, folks. Let's get this up to 75 likes. If you're enjoying the show here on the channel, don't forget to smash the like button. And if you're also new to Jets Media and you're not subscribed to the channel here, please consider subscribing. We have a lot of off-season content coming your way. More live streams, more videos coming. I got a lot of fun things on the horizon here on the channel for Jets Media. So if you're new or you're watching but you haven't hit the subscribe button, definitely consider doing that, and also hit the notification bell so you get notified every time your boy makes a video or goes live on Jets Media. Appreciate you guys with all the support. As always. What would you trade for Howell? I'd trade like day 3, multiple day 3 picks. If you have to do a day 2 and a day 3 pick, that the compensation is definitely going to be an impact here, right? Definitely going to be an impact. Because if Washington's asking for too much and it makes no sense, yeah, we're not going to do that. Backup, starter, doesn't matter. If the trade goes through, that's where you go. Absolutely. Thank you, Rich. Appreciate you. Now, this is important. I agree with Addison. I hope the backup doesn't play a single snap this season. Now, the only time I want to see a backup is if we're blowing teams out in the 4th quarter and he comes out and just, lets Aaron Rodgers rest. That's when I want to see a backup. This is it. The whole season next year is on Aaron Rodgers staying healthy, that's for sure. But we need an insurance plan. So do you think Zach is going to be traded? Yes, I do. I do think so. I don't want another QB named Sam. Keith, that's funny. Keith is scarred from Sam Darnold. It's okay, Keith. It's a different Sam. Completely different Sam. I think what is missing of the Jets getting Sam Howell is that he would learn from a top 5 QB all time and Rodgers for 2 years. This is it right here. At least got it. I don't really trust the Jets coaching staff to develop anybody, but I trust Aaron Rodgers to. He showed a lot of upside early on in the year for Washington and then fell off when the team stunk around him. You better make sure you have a good vet backup. Don't be stupid. Yeah, so the question is, do the Jets go short-term and get a good veteran backup? Or do they go long-term thinking, short-term and long-term thinking? But then if you get a good veteran backup, you got to draft a quarterback. So there's a lot. Darnold going to be starting somewhere. I agree. Bring back Geno Smith. Now, Geno Smith is a perfect example of a career that Sam Howell could have. Geno Smith was drafted in the 2nd round. He was the New York Jets quarterback. He went to the Giants as a backup. And then he became a backup quarterback in Seattle eventually, behind Russell Wilson, backing him up, right? For a long time, Geno Smith was quarterback number 2, learning the ropes behind the starters. And then when his opportunity came, Geno Smith all of a sudden became a franchise quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. And now he's their guy. Just saying, the path is there. It's been proven to happen around the NFL. Now, is it guaranteed? No, it's not. Just because Geno Smith did it doesn't mean Sam Howell could do it with the Jets. My point is, Geno Smith did it. That means another quarterback could do it. Even though Peter's like, I would rather have Streveler over Sam Howell. Oh, man. Chris Streveler. What an era. Even though that was literally like this past year. That's hilarious. We would have to wait like 5 years till Sam Howell is good like Geno did. No. Sweet Baby Jesus says, I'm at work and is wild for thinking to bring back Geno as if it's 15. It's going to be same results. It's a joke. We're not bringing Geno back, bro. I think Mason Rudolph is more realistic. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. What did Geno really do? I mean, he put out good numbers for the Seattle Seahawks last year. And then this season, I mean, listen, Geno's no top 10 quarterback. We know that, but I will notice in the poll in the chat, 111 people vote. 55% are on board. Now, the main priority for the Jets has to be what? Getting a guy who every Jets fan feels comfortable being a backup behind Aaron Rodgers next year, okay? Now, guys, I want to open this up to a Jets Q&A. Any questions you all have regarding this specific topic about Sam Howell potentially coming to the Jets, or maybe it's the NFL draft, maybe it's free agency, maybe it's potential trades, maybe it's all the hit piece articles that keeps coming out. Let me know in the chat right now, guys, and I will get to them as they come in for the Jets Q&A portion of the chat. Would love to be interactive with Jets fans. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the chat. As you guys answer those or ask those questions, we're going to hear a quick word from Manta Sleep. As you all know, we've had a proud sponsor of Jets Media for quite some time now, and they happen to be Manta Sleep. Now, if you guys want to use my promo code JETS, you will get a 10% discount code. That link is down below in the description. Now, you might be wondering, what is Manta Sleep? If you guys have any struggles with sleeping, I cannot highly recommend more the Manta Sleep Pro Mask. Now, I've been using this since they became sponsors of the channel months ago, and I literally wear this exact sleep mask every single night before sleep. Again, guys, this is what you got to invest in if you're having any difficulty with sleep. It is the most advanced sleep mask on the market, and I promise you, you will not regret getting your sleep mask. It absolutely takes out the light, 100% blackout, zero eye pressure technology. So when you put it on, you can open your eyes. But really, my favorite part about it is it completely turns out the light. So even if you want to put it on for a midday nap, or even you don't even want to take a rest, you just want to put the sleep mask on, even meditate. It's a really mindful practice, and I cannot recommend them more to you guys. They have a lot of different masks on their website. This happens to be the Pro Mask, which I personally recommend. It's what I use. But don't forget, use that link down below in the description, 10% off discount code. They have a Bluetooth mask if you want to listen to music. They got a silk mask. They got ones for kids. They got a weighted mask. They got a cool mask. Definitely check out their website. Cannot recommend them more. Thank you, Manta Sleep, for being a proud sponsor of Jets Media. All right, shout out to Manta Sleep for being the sponsor of Jets Media. Now, I noticed there's a huge shift in the poll. More people are voting no. It's getting close to 50-50 here, folks. It's getting close to 50-50. 52% say yes. So if you did not vote yet, please vote. Keep voting, folks. Would you want the Jets to trade for Sam Howell? 52% says yes. All right, let's get into some Q&As in the chat. Who do you think is the best offensive lineman in free agency for the Jets to try to get? Great question. I think Tyron Smith is a good option. Donovan Smith is a good option. Obviously, there's some better options out there, but I feel like the most realistic ones are the ones that the Jets can afford. David Bakhtiari kind of feels inevitable to be a Jet because of the Aaron Rodgers connection. The one thing that we know about the Jets is they're going to want to bring in Aaron Rodgers' friends, and David Bakhtiari happens to be one of his best friends. So that's definitely something. King Jamie, do you agree with me that it takes a legend or a dang lucky break to take Mahomes out of the playoffs? Would you agree with me that Rodgers is a Hall of Famer and he has the mustard to last-minute win? Now, listen, I totally know that Patrick Mahomes has some magic to him, and it's going to take a lot for any team in the AFC to knock him off in the postseason every year for a while. I do think that Aaron Rodgers has what it takes, and I also think that the Jets defense has what it takes to match up against the Chiefs offense. Will they shut them down? No. Will they limit them? Yes. It's really hard for me to answer this with a straight face because I don't know what Aaron Rodgers looks like on the New York Jets. I don't. I have no idea. Where do you think Zach is going to? Great question. I think Zach, the Rams are a really good option for him. The Vikings as well. Those are the two top people, I think. Those are the two top. Pat Mahomes hasn't seen a defense like ours in the playoffs. I hope we see Pat Mahomes in the playoffs. Jets defense is established for any QB in any offense. Yes, sir. What do you want to happen, Richie, in your opinion? Happen about what? Sam Howell or like what in general? I mean, I like Sam Howell, but I mean, it's not like my number one priority. Right? Did I see it's Mr. Bonesy's birthday? Where's Mr. Bonesy? How do you guys... I don't see Mr. Bonesy in the chat. Is Mr. Bonesy watching? I got to give him a happy birthday shout out. Johnny says, big time shout out to Mr. Bonesy. I don't see Mr. Bonesy in the chat, though. Happy birthday. If you're watching right now, Mr. Bonesy, happy birthday, my man. It was a privilege to get to know you and have a great time in Vegas this year with the Jets-Raiders game. How was Miami, Richie? Miami was great. If you guys did not know, I was in Miami over the weekend. And, oh, they're joking. It's not Mr. Bonesy's birthday. I don't know. You guys always joke around me. But I was in Miami over the weekend with Roundtable Sports. I was with TD Finstock and Dan Mitchell. Those two have become, close friends now and also business partners. And it was our first little Roundtable Sports business meeting, if you will, in person, retreat, whatever you want to call it. It was a lot of fun, Henny. Because people don't know that me, TD, and Dan, we've known each other virtually for 4 years, but that was only the second time we've ever met. Henny, you were there the first time we met back in week 1. That was the first time we met in person, and then this was our second time coming together. We had a lot of work to do from the back end of the business, and then we got to know each other and had a good time. It was great, man. It was great. Speaking of Dan Mitchell, and speaking of TD Finstock, you all know that we are part of a brand new channel, brand new show on BetUS TV. Okay? Now, if you guys want to go support your boy, I'm going to be live there in 15 minutes. Now, the topics today are going to be interesting. Michael Penix to the Miami Dolphins, right? If you guys did not know yet, your boy is live every single day, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. EST, right here on The Huddle on BetUS TV. So if you guys want to go check me out today, I would appreciate it if you can click the link that I'm about to put in the chat right now. I put The Huddle's link. This is on BetUS TV. You guys know BetUS as the sponsor of the channel for Sportsbook, but they're also entering the media world. They have their own YouTube channel. They produce these shows in a great way, and we had some heated debates last week. We did the 2 episodes last week on The Huddle in person together, which was really fun, and you guys got to check that out. Now, we're going to be talking about a lot of things regarding the NFL in today's show, outside of just Penix to the Dolphins. It's a lot of different topics. But if you did not watch this episode, you got to watch it. The NFL's Most Overrated Awards, because TD Finstock was clowning me and going after me, calling Sauce Gardner overrated. Okay? And I did not let him have it. I mean, look at my face. That's me going in on TD Finstock of him calling Sauce Gardner overrated. So it's a must watch. We're not going to be in person today because I'm obviously not with them. But this was in Miami. This was my face when he was saying that Sauce Gardner's overrated. Now, I can unmute it and you guys can listen to it, but go check it out. Definitely much watch. I kind of want to clip this and re-upload it for people that didn't see it because it was definitely a lot of fun. So guys, click that link at the top of the chat right now. Go to The Huddle and let them know that I sent you. All right? Let them know that your boy sent you. Go into the chat and say, Richie sent me, let's go Jets. Because I want Jets fans to be represented in the show because I'm representing the New York Jets. I would love to have Jets fans represent every single day. Every day, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. EST. We're live on BetUS TV. Sauce generational. Overrated? Yeah, bro. Go check it out. Go check it out. Grant Cohen said the Ayuk is most likely to be traded. Shame we don't have the resources. We do have the resources. What are you talking about? We do have the resources. I think. Head coach Sean McVay made Jared Goff who he is today. That rhymed. Richie, prediction. What are we going to do with Solomon Thomas, Quentin Jefferson, Jordan Whitehead, Connor McGovern, Bryce Huff, Ashton Davis, Clark, both CJs, and Lincoln? CJ Mosley is not going anywhere. He's staying. That's for sure. He's under contract. He's the only one that I think is under contract. Maybe a little restructure, but he's not going anywhere. Lincoln is an interesting one because the Jets could cut him and free up some money, but you're missing out on a durable left guard, but you can definitely upgrade at that position with that money. Solomon Thomas, I think it's inevitable they're going to re-sign him. I feel like Solomon likes the Jets. I think it's mutual that they both want to be back together on a mutual beneficial contract. Quentin Jefferson is another guy that I would love to bring back. Jordan Whitehead's interesting because if they move off of Whitehead, we have a hole at safety, right? If we bring back Jordan Whitehead, we don't. I know every single offseason, Jets fans are like, we need to get safety and linebacker help. We need to get safety and linebacker help. We need to get safety and linebacker help. Well, we don't need linebacker help, in my opinion. Maybe we'll draft one late, but our linebackers are fine. Safeties, if we don't re-sign Jordan Whitehead, what's the plan? Do we re-sign Ashton Davis and give him that role? Tony Adams is there. Do we bring back Chuck Clark? So there's definitely a big discussion to have with the safety unit. No doubt about it. Hennessy with the $2. Give us a healthy Rodgers this year. Woo. Hennessy, you know how I feel about this, bro. You know how I feel about that. Please, just give us a healthy Rodgers this year. Is it that much? It's too much to ask. Thank you, Hennessy. Appreciate the super chat, my man. Maybe a team traded up with us for Penix. Well, speaking of that, that's the next topic on BetUS TV's The Huddle. Will Penix trade up with the Jets? Will the Dolphins rather trade up to be on the Dolphins? So, guys, I'm going to end the show here, but don't you worry. I'll be live here on BetUS TV right now in 10 minutes at 3 p.m. EST every single day, Monday through Friday. Everybody go click the link that's pinned at the top of the chat. Hit the like button over here. Put in the comment section live saying Jets Media sent me. Richie sent me. Let them know I sent you. I appreciate you guys big time. I'm going to end the show here. I'll see you guys on The Huddle, produced by BetUS TV. Peace out, everybody. See you guys in 10 minutes. Click that link at the top of the chat.